Hello, welcome to A Happy Moment. My name is Dan, and I'm glad you could join me today. If you listened to my Intro to Wrestling episode, you know that I'm a big fan of the Japanese wrestling promotion, Stardom. I wanted to talk about some of the recent happenings and give you another reason why now is a great time to check it out. At the end of March, we saw the return of Kairi. Those who watch WWE know her as Kairi Sane. Stardom was Kairi's home before she joined the WWE in 2017. She was a big star on the NXT brand for several years before moving up to the main roster. There she teamed up with Asuka and they became tag team champions. But Kairi felt like a sidekick a lot of times, and I don't believe she had the opportunity to show what she was fully capable of in the ring. As a new fan to Stardom, I was pretty excited to hear she was returning. Unfortunately, in her second match back, she suffered a busted eardrum. I believe she's scheduled to be back in action soon, and actually, I think she might be scheduled to come back by the time this episode goes live, possibly this past weekend. If you watched her in the WWE, particularly during her NXT run, you know she's a really good talent, so that's just another great addition to an already talented roster. Before this injury absence, she had good matches with Tom Nakano and Starlight Kid, and I'm excited to see what happens when she comes back. Now, if you saw the title of this episode and wondered what Cinderella has to do with wrestling, I'll tell you. One of the biggest events of the year for Stardom is the Cinderella tournament. This is a single elimination tournament where the winner comes back out at the end of the show dressed like a princess, wearing a ball gown and a crown. She is then granted one wish. I admit the first time I heard of this concept, I raised my eyebrow a little, but I've had the chance to watch two of these tournaments now, and it's become one of my favorite events in wrestling. When the winner walks out in her gown and makes a wish, it feels like a magical moment, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely different than what I've been used to watching in wrestling, and it's a lot of fun. To make things even more interesting during the tournament, in addition to winning a match the usual way, you can also win by throwing your opponent over the top rope and down to the floor. This puts everybody on more equal terms and means anybody has a shot at winning. This year's tournament finals match was between Koguma and Mirai, with Mirai winning. Koguma, in my opinion, was a big underdog coming into this match, so I wasn't really surprised at the outcome. Early on in the match, she tried to match her larger opponent's strength, and she did hold her own for a while, but that style of wrestling is not her strong suit. She eventually did start going for some high risk moves, but unfortunately for her, that backfired. A splash off the top rope was countered when Mirai was able to get her knees up. And that was pretty much the end, as Koguma was never able to recover. Mirai picked her apart from there and hit some power moves to seal the victory. I don't think going for the big splash was a bad idea. Sure, it probably cost Koguma the match, but if she had connected, that might have given her the win. I think against a stronger opponent like that, you need to take some risks, so I really don't fault her for trying it. Then after the main event match, Mirai comes out to make her wish, and it's for a white belt title match. The white belt is the Wonder of Stardom Championship, but is commonly referred to as simply the white belt. For WWE fans, the closest comparison I can give you is that the white belt is similar to the Intercontinental title. Mirai said she doesn't feel ready to challenge for the red belt, which is the world championship, so she'll go for the white belt instead. And it just so happens that the white belt is currently held by Saya Kamitani, who was last year's winner of the Cinderella tournament. It should be a closely contested match. The rest of the card for the Cinderella finals event was really good too. There was a very entertaining match for the high speed title and some other fun moments too. If you'd like to check out Stardom, they do have an official YouTube channel called Stardom Official. If you go to the channel and click on the playlist tab, look for the playlist that's called We Are Stardom, and that's the one that'll give you highlights from their events. Also, much like the WWE and their WWE Network, which is now part of the Peacock streaming service, Stardom also has their own streaming service, which can be found at stardom-world.com. There is a monthly subscription cost of 800 yen, which after the currency conversion usually comes out to anywhere between $7 and $9. Well worth it in my opinion. One other wrestling note I'd like to mention. If you check out my Twitter page, at A Happy Moment Pod, you can see a picture I posted a few weeks ago of myself and Buff Bagwell from an independent show back in 2004. Anybody who watched World Championship Wrestling back in the day will know who Buff is. If you did watch WCW and don't recognize the name, check out the picture and I'm sure you'll recognize him then. This is the only picture I have of myself and a wrestler. Buff was really cool when I met him and really nice. I remember him being concerned and telling me to be careful about not smudging the marker he used to sign the picture. So please check that out on my Twitter page if you'd like. It was a fun part of my history. That's all for today. As always, I appreciate your comments and feedback. Recently, I asked some people who their favorite wrestlers were, so feel free to stop by and contribute to that topic. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Take care.